No hipsters.
No hipsters.
No hipsters pod.
Episode 69, No Hipsters Pod. It's your boy Ronce, the founder of NoHipstersAllowed.com, and this week our guest,
Teresa.
right? Teresa Kona.
Hey.
Back to back.
Hey.
Back to back like Drake.
It's me again.
We're just going to pick up from where we left off last week, and we'll start with Harry and Meghan, Volume 2, which dropped at this point a week ago, but we're just getting to chatting about it now. But we get to see more about how they were treated. We get to see that Prince William's comm staff were undermining Harry and Meghan, feeding stories to the press about them. We get to find out that there were shouting matches apparently when they had family meetings. William actually yelled at Harry.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And another thing, it's like I totally forgot that there was a miscarriage, that Meghan Markle had a miscarriage like 2 years ago. It was mentioned in the documentary, and I was like, wait, like, completely left my memory, and so I was like, wow, that did happen, and it was slowly coming back to me. And so they really went through a lot, and they really kind of, at least Harry blames the stress of the suit against the mail for her being in
stress,
that for her losing her baby. And so it's very I think Volume 2 is just as explosive as Volume 1. And it's very interesting. First of all, let's I'm going to take this apart because there's a lot about this that I want to discuss. Let's talk about William and Harry's relationship and how badly it's devolved, but particularly with regard to the infamous comment about race that Harry first mentioned during the Oprah interview, how someone had made a comment about what
how
the family...
black is this baby?
Basically.
There's a big guessing game all around the world. Who was it? I thought it was very touching that Harry still is choosing to protect the identity of whoever that was.
Yes, and he did not share the identity with me, but he wanted to make sure that I knew, and if I had an opportunity to share it, that it was not his grandmother nor his grandfather that were a part of those conversations.
Now, you were here after the Oprah interview early 2021, and at the time you suspected Charles. Because Harry has been emphatic in saying that it was neither the Queen nor Prince Philip, people have narrowed down.
Charles and William.
I wasn't really sure at the time. After this, if I had to bet, I would say it was William. Where do you stand on that?
I still think it's the dad, y'all. Okay, so here's why I think it's the dad. One, old people are a little bit more traditional,
old school,
that
vintage racism.
Yes, I think it just felt vintage. It felt like a vintage racism thing
like
to
a
say.
throwback.
Like, maybe I'll feel better about this baby if it's not a dark-skinned black.
The baby's a ginger like his dad, but okay.
But honestly, without them even being truly there for him, like, either way, the comment was said in a manner in which was meant to hurt him and to kind of push Meghan away. So it's sad, like, whether it's the dad or it's the brother, and it's hurtful that that she had to deal with that, because like he could beat their asses. He could beat their asses. So like, my heart goes out to people who don't even know you could.
Give me the asses. Understood. And of course, we see that we get to learn more about Tyler Perry's relationship with the Sussexes. We find out so apparently he's Lilibet's godfather. And it's funny, there was this funny tweet.
When I saw that, I was like, how?
We'll call and we'll chat and we'll talk about silly things. And they were pretty serious on the phone. I go, okay, what's going on? And they said, well, we'd like for you to be Lily's godfather. I go, whoa. I'd take a minute to take that in, and I thought I'd be honored. I'd absolutely be honored.
Where did you come from? How?
Right, but
I was like, I'm into it now. Let me hear it.
Said Lilibet is probably the most powerful person in the world. She's technically, in line to the British throne, and
in line to Tyler Perry Studios.
Exactly.
She is the
and
heir.
And is also the goddaughter of a billionaire movie mogul. Right, and it just really straddles two worlds. Can also run for U.S. president because she was born here. So they're like, yeah, she could run for, she could be president, but she could also be a monarch. You know, of course, if like 6 people die at the same time, but still, you know.
I just want to know, how did Tyler get here? When I saw that, my original thought was like,
how did we get here?
Okay, they're showing Meghan's friends, and they are white. So,
and we will get to that in more detail later. But yes,
who was the connection that was Tyler Perry? I was very confused because it's just, where did you come from?
So, as it turns out, they never even met each other. So, at the height of the initial, like, you know, media firestorm surrounding the wedding, apparently Tyler Perry just cold reached out to Meghan.
Not you slid in the DMs, no. Tyler.
And it's funny. I really wonder how that. It's funny, how does Larry's get each other's numbers? Clearly, they all know each other.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, there's a publicist that knows, like, okay, there's a connection somewhere that somebody can make this type of outreach. Yeah. And I will say that the fact that Beyonce had texted her.
Beyonce just texted. Really met.
Shut up.
Just checking in.
Just checking in, just casual.
I still can't believe she knows who I am.
Go and call her.
No, it's okay. She said she wants me to feel safe and protected. She admires and respects my bravery and vulnerability, and she thinks I was selected to break generational curses that need to be healed.
That's well said.
Beyonce?
Yeah. Beyonce? But really, it's like Tyler Perry cold reached out, and she technically aired him. Like, she didn't respond to him until years later when she was in need. And not to be, but that's the facts of the facts. But she didn't respond until years later, and apparently spoke to him, and like, you know, they'd never met before, and apparently cried on the phone. And this is when they were needing to find their own, you know, housing and security and all that. And so Tyler, you know, being the billionaire he is,
which I'm not royal, but like, as we're getting these like details to this story, like, of course I'm trying to imagine how this went. Like, were you laying in bed and just were like, you know what, I have a rich friend. Like, how did Tyler get here?
It's really, it's like, there's so many, why didn't she call Oprah? Anyway, but Tyler, and who's to say that she called looking for help, even though it sounds like it, but there was...
She definitely was protected by the Black Billionaires of America Club.
For sure.
Beyonce. Oprah. Tyler.
Right.
We see you.
So he gets them a jet to go to his house, and while the jet, like, oh, we're going, you know, with courtesy of a friend we've never met, and to that, it just really kind of crystallizes, I think, the ickiness, if you will, if we're going to go that far, is that it just feels, and I'm not saying that he doesn't genuinely want to help them or that he hasn't helped other people. He helps regular people all the time. I remember when there were like kids who got like, the guy, I guess, got kicked out of some club somewhere, Tyler Perry, and they're like taking all of them to Disneyland on his dime. So he does help people. He does help strangers. And so I'm not saying that he doesn't, but a part of it just feels a little pressed to me, a little bit of clout chasey to me. And I know this is a cynical take, but it does feel that way. And when you see him on the documentary, he just seems so excited to be there. And it's like, and then
he is.
It was all like, oh, this is so interesting, really interesting. What are your thoughts about that?
My thing about this is that it is wonderful to see that Tyler Perry is not the supervillain that the internet says that he is. I do see him torturing Black women on film, and I like the fact that he is saving them in real life. So, like, either way, he did a thing that nobody else did. And whether that was based on him being an opportunist, like, it also seemingly was an opportunity for Meghan and Harry as
Yeah.
well.
It was mutual opportunism, in my opinion.
Right.
So they no longer had the royal, protections and all the whatever, and he, just saw some, rich, powerful people that he could kind of like associate with and
be like, just stay at my house.
Yeah,
Stay at my
So
house.
it was great, and listen, I know, and this, and even like, let's just say what we were saying was absolutely true. I don't think that makes him a bad person. I think it's in a way human nature to act like that.
It did kind of turn my stomach a bit to see the scene where Gail was interviewing him and she had said,
It's been widely reported that Meghan and Harry are living at your place in Los Angeles. Can you tell us how they're doing? You speak English?
I'm sorry. I think I just lost you. I just lost you, Gail. I'm sorry. We have a really bad connection. I'm sorry. I think we lost Gail King, guys. We lost her. Thank you, Gail King. Great interview, Gail. Thank you.
Tyler Perry.
We lost you.
Bye, Tyler. Thank you so much.
It was almost a way to signal like,
It is true.
yeah, instead of like making it very clear that that's not a question that you're willing to answer on air, or you're,
Because
like,
ultimately, I think he wants people to know.
yeah, which kind of is the part that makes me agree with it does seem a bit clout chasey. But for them to say that, yeah, they were only safe in Canada for 6 weeks, and then they were only safe in California for 6 weeks, it was like, well, maybe had you not associated yourself with someone with such a high profile, then maybe you would have been safe.
I wonder how that gets out, because I don't think he leaked the information, but I think after a while, if you have all these like contractors and people in there doing things, or security could even leak the information. I don't know how, but what happened, I thought this was wild, was that on the 6th week in Tyler Perry's house, the media finds out that they're there, and apparently they're like helicopters every day, like over the house, so bad that they had to like put fences near whatever wing of the mansion they were staying in, and people were coming and cut people were intruding into that, like, shocking to me.
I would have snipers.
And my whole thing is that, aren't people scared of getting shot? Like, I wouldn't even knock on like a person's door in this building.
Yeah.
If I didn't, like, if they weren't expecting,
like you don't know what people have. Yeah. Like, it's kind of wild.
Dangerous. Why do you think this is?
But again, these are people who also understand like the opportunity behind getting a photo or stealing their laundry, or like they said, the Daily Mail were receiving information from tabloids, reporters, and other people who just happened to have grasped any bit of information that they could grasp. And with your brother's press and your press kind of being at war with each other, it is kind of like your open season.
I guess. Like, cutting the fence is insanely aggressive to me. That was actually one of the more shocking moments.
But you don't think someone's press would just hire someone to just go that far, like do whatever possible?
You mean his comms office?
Oh, yes.
I mean, William, if you're behind that, that's wild.
I mean, sometimes they hire people and they hide their hands simply by saying, this person went to whatever lengths based on trying to also protect me and my family, trying to protect our throne, trying to protect our legacy, trying to protect, the monarchy.
Interesting. I at no point thought that could be like something that someone in the family did.
They do have stands. They do have people who are extremists and will do this.
Actually, no, I don't think it was a stand. I think these are press people who wanted to get that $1 million shot. Because I mean, if you get that could be sold for at least $1 million. So I think that's what it was. But whoever did it, for whatever reason, crazy behavior, dangerous behavior, dangerous to Harry and Meghan, but also dangerous to you. Like, you get like, who's to say they don't have people with guns on the other side of the fence? Like, just come on, guys. But yeah, that's
really sad to kind of know that like somebody is in their home with their children, and it's hard to not feel for her, and like to see that the media, the British media specifically, they villainized her and bullied her and treated her in this way, and then her kids are exposed to like people being wild and disrespectful, and their mother just being like this like it's a lot.
It is.
So
Let's actually go back to your earlier point about Meghan and not having black friends. And it's funny, I've been thinking about this, and even someone, Kimberly Foster, who the founder of For Harriet, was like, any 40-year-old woman who doesn't have any black women in her life besides Oprah Winfrey and Serena Williams has had it so by choice. And I kind of agree, right? And my thing is, with all like the friends commenting, oh, I was so sad, like all the people who have things to say about her, who seem to know like, you know, intimate details about her personal life, the people who hosted her baby shower and all that, all non-black, predominantly white. Maybe there was one Asian in the mix, but it's like, to me, it's very like, it's almost like when white people, particularly rich white people, when they have a black friend, it's always like a celebrity.
Yeah.
Right? Like they can be friends with whatever Joe Schmo, like dentist or physician or lawyer who just
but
happens.
it's like it's Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
Dave
yeah,
Chappelle.
yeah.
Like,
But Dave Chappelle will be the black friend, or Chris Rock or whatever.
Right.
And it's like, as opposed to like, okay, that means you wouldn't be hanging out with a black person if he wasn't like, if he wasn't, you know, this larger than life personality. And Meghan is giving a lot of that, where it's like, okay, so there's no regular or even semi-regular, like they're upper class black. Somebody
that went to elementary school with
like
you?
that means you not even like a B-list black actor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you grew up in LA, so it's not like you haven't been exposed to black people, and you've been in Hollywood. I'm sure at some point you've come in contact with black people who were in your tax bracket, and you've never built enough of like a rapport where like they're now feeling like they can comment about you or talk to People magazine. Like, clearly. And she says that she hasn't been viewed as a black woman, but I think that's partly because she doesn't view herself as a black woman.
Yeah.
I think that's the real tell there. She was telling us, I haven't been treated as a black woman, but I don't think she thinks of herself as a black woman. And like, I don't think, and maybe she has been treated as such and didn't notice it because she didn't think, they can't be talking about me, or this can't have, like, or this.
That's interesting. It's a very interesting take.
I mean, I have to say it is problematic. I think we're dancing around the issue. It's problematic, and we like her, of course. And this is we're pro Meghan around here, but it's very, she doesn't. And I'm actually impressed that she's so like into like Black Lives Matter and all of this stuff. So. That's
but the thing is that I will say this: Meghan has always been a smart girl.
Yes.
Even as they started telling her background, she always was very caring, sympathetic to others, and also performed very well scholastically. Mm-hmm. So I would presume that anyone that is of that intelligence level, whether white or black, would align themselves with, those causes, especially at this time.
Right.
And particularly the fact that when she did meet Harry, like that's just kind of the place that she was at that time. Mm-hmm. That may not have been where she was in college, in high school, and in elementary school, because she did also mention she was bullied. The bullying did not start at Buckingham Palace. It obviously was a bit of trouble for her in sort of like identifying herself, because obviously she never even got you get treated like this as a black woman talk until she got to the palace. And I also found that to be, all right, that's your mama's fault. Mm-hmm. But like also at a certain age, that's your fault. So
Right. I mean, listen, ultimately, like I said, I think she's chosen an identity, and I'm not saying that she's ever like tried to act like she's not black. I think she's even before all this, there are tweets of her talking about having a black mom, and that's cool and that's fair. But I think as much as she probably is progressive and and anti-racist, she basically moves like
a biracial.
I don't even think she does. I think she moves like just a benevolent white person, right? Like a white person who knows better, a white person who knows that racism is like. That's just the vibe that she gives me, and it's like
Not she's giving evolved white.
It's just like
An elevated white.
right. I just don't. I think keep having to point to her friends. Like, it's not like you grew up in like Wyoming somewhere. You grew up in LA.
Yes.
You've been in Hollywood all these years.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You met Serena somewhere, right? Because apparently they were already friends before she and Harry got together. But like, how are we not able to like acquire any other black friend, right?
Yes.
That says to me that like, okay, that you can only envision any like close relationship with a black person if they are, you know, this major person, right? Like I mean, we just have to. We can't skirt around that anymore.
We can't.
And I think we did that the last episode.
We
and
can't.
that's why I'm like, we're not going to do it this episode.
And you're right. You're right.
She's made a choice.
Her friends and like kind of more so like her background also lead me to believe that this is who she was, and as like this relationship with Harry has kind of developed, like this is kind of what she's confronted with. So I still kind of am like, I still empathize with you, sis, but like it is what it is. Like
Harry probably had more black friends than she did.
I agree. I think that she was like, he wants me to go to Africa?
No, I think she clearly listen. Shorty was she definitely she never missed a beat. She knew what needed to be done, and she closed the deal. So I you know, she would have gone anywhere if he said
she would have.
If he said let's go to North Korea, Meghan would have gone. Like
she would have. But the thing was that wasn't a destination that she would have just openly just went to. I think it was something that she was open to.
Yeah.
Because
Actually,
it aligns with the fact that
especially when you think of the fact that she thinks of herself as this white person, kind of. At least appears to think of herself. I don't know what's in her head, but based on all the outward evidence, that's what it looks like. And there are lots of white people that want to go to Africa, you know, and you know, so.
Well, the summer of travel, Meghan did not look like she was giving. Let's go to Botswana. Like it just didn't. It didn't seem like that. It seemed like. Girls trip to Paris.
And
like,
it wasn't like a glamorous trip to Botswana. They were like camping. And
yes, that's why I also was like, and she was like, I'm going to go and meet him and stay in the bush. And I was like, yeah, this is not a trip that she would have just voluntarily normally taken. I think that he's kind of pulled her along in a new journey that's forced her to kind of confront some of these things.
This is a very generous take, I have to say.
I'm a very generous gal.
I can see. Okay. Listen, we love Meghan around here. But
we do. That is still our princess. Yeah. I'm just keeping it real.
But we just have to, like, you know, just call out, you know, the facts, you know, and the fact of the matter is that she has, and I'm not saying, I mean, she, as much as we said, cares about, you know, Black Lives Matter, whatever, but clearly, I don't think has felt the kind of solidarity with black people that you would expect of a person who does have part black heritage. So it is what it is. It's her life, and we can't force any identity on her, but it definitely makes you go so from one Meg to another, and really it's not this is really not about, it's really about Tory Lanez, but it involves Megan Thee Stallion, but it's the Tory Lanez trial, and I want people to keep referring to it as the Tory Lanez trial, because he's the one on trial, not Megan. And so just really hours ago, they started deliberating, the jury did, and so we might find out if he goes to jail soon enough. Actually, if you can definitely check your phone.
Yes.
Because you never know. But like, you know, they made their closing arguments today. We heard testimony from the person who kind of saw part of the night of the shooting.
Yeah.
So,
and that was a testimony that shook everyone. That literally, like, the case just keeps on getting more and more bizarre.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the person says, like, you know, like he says things that some people that surprise people, that he saw the woman shoot first, But then Tory, like, it was really things that would make, I think, a lot of people who want to believe that Tory didn't do this, like, feel like they had a good, piece of supporting testimony. But, like, ultimately he said that Tory had the gun as well. So either they both did, which I don't believe that to be true, because while she texts the bodyguard saying Tory shot Meg, like, if she had done that, it's just, I think there's more evidence to support that Tory did it than that Kelsey did it.
I will say that there is no official news yet.
Okay.
Just a lot of rumors
And
from
conjecture.
From other blogs, but no official verdict. And one of the biggest things about this case is just the amount of social commentary that has surrounded it. And one of the things that keeps kind of getting pushed to the back of it also is it's just the fact that, like, a lot of Black women aren't seen as victims. They are never immediately taken as victims. And I just think it's really important to point out that, like, in the case of the Meghans, these are women who, they're not violently approaching anyone. They are not, attacking anyone. And yet their claims that they are victims is being kind of looked at as needing proof. And
Even in the face of, like, gunshot wounds.
yeah.
And my whole thing is that, like, first of all, bringing up all the people she slept with, I don't know what bearing that has on anything. I guess some people say, that proves that it was Kelsey that did it because Kelsey was mad about what, like.
Either way, she did not shoot herself.
Right.
And to
right.
be 1,000% honest, as much as people are trying to make this also about whether or not she told the truth or she's a liar, Meghan is in her 20s. Y'all done told some nastier, crazier white tales in your 20s than her coming up with whatever embellishments you might think she's making in her story. The fact is that hers has remained the same, and that all parties have admitted that they were drinking in excess.
Right.
So everyone is in a position where it's like,
You can question everyone's story.
Yeah.
It's basically the Tory's attorney was basically trying to discredit her because she was, belligerent or whatever.
but so was he, wasn't he? He said that
In
the text.
that he did say that, right?
He literally he's the first one to admit that,
he was
like,
drunk.
he was drunk.
Yeah.
So why are we worrying about whether or not, she might have been drunker, and so she doesn't know who shot her, or why is she lying? Like, maybe she doesn't want you in her business. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
And I guess the lie that everyone's hanging on is that she and Tory supposedly had an intimate relationship, which, I mean, she denied on the record during the interview with Gayle King.
What was the nature of your relationship with Tory Lanez? Because he has led people to believe that it was a sexual relationship, that it was that you two were dating. What was the nature?
We were not dating. We were really close. We were friends. We hung out like every day. And his mom passed too. So when I felt like we were bonding over that. And
did you have an intimate relationship with him?
like sexual?
Yeah. Did you, Meghan, did you have a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez? Yes, that's my question.
I didn't have a sexual relationship with Tory.
I don't think she even admitted that in her own words yet, but I think this is what the prosecution said. So the prosecution basically ceded that there was this relationship, but I don't think Meghan herself has already.
Yeah, I don't think she has validated it. I think
that's now the going.
right, because it was a part of Kelsey's testimony, and obviously, that would be what other people from the party or what other witnesses are thinking was the case as well. So it's just
even if,
it just doesn't seem
Here's the thing.
relevant.
Even if they were indeed intimate, what doesn't matter, right? We're here to find out.
We're not trying to solve
It's
why
embarrassing.
they were fighting.
It's embarrassing if that
We're
is
trying
true.
to solve who shot you.
Yeah.
Like, jumping to these other things is like a way to kind of like throw everybody off and deflect off of what we're actually supposed to be focusing on, which is that this is a black woman who is a victim of gun violence.
The prosecutor, Kathy Ta, made this like matrix with all like the 3 suspects. Tory, Kelsey, bodyguard, Tory's bodyguard we're talking about. And and like did like a little like X mark, like X in each box. Okay, check here. Who had gun residue? Who was accused via text? Who apologized? To, like almost everything is pointing like to Tory. And so she's like, this is. I mean, it couldn't be clearer. But we'll see what happens. And speaking of Meghan's bodyguard who got texted, he was supposed to testify on Friday. He was, technically missing. I don't know if a missing persons case has been opened on him yet, but he hasn't been seen since Thursday of last week. So a week now, because today is Thursday, and no one knows where he is. But however, news of him did leak today, which is so random. But yes,
it just really seems like organized, like efforts against him being able to be there for Meghan. It just seems entirely too.
So you think people either did something to him or paid him off? What do you think?
I'm not sure.
I'm leaning towards him getting paid to disappear.
I'm not sure. I don't think that he would have taken a payment to disappear, especially because of how much he did care about Meghan.
Because they seem so close. In fact, people thought that they were dating for a while.
And the thing is that also it seems like with these nudes leaking that like, no, this sounds like somebody is forcibly like taking him off of the grid, like for whatever amount of time. Like, I said this the last time that like Meghan has pissed a lot of people off in Houston. Jay Prince.
Oh.
I just kind of feel like it's possible. It's possible that he could be
mob ties. That's his thing. It's really interesting because it's like, and someone said this on Twitter one time. I mean,
Tory's previous history was supposed to be discussed during his testimony. Like, there were several things they wanted him to close the loops on, and so him not testifying also is like, it makes it seem even more like it's you.
Okay, you mean Tory Lanez not testifying? Yeah. I mean, of course, if he testified, they would have brought up him, making a music video where there's a butchered horse.
Yes.
They would have brought up all his violent behavior, like just this long list of people
rap
he's
list
assaulted.
Of like, most
recently, August Alsina, just a few months ago. So that's
it just seems like this is plausible.
Yeah.
That's just what the details are kind of showing us, and I just hope that all of the people who have testified, they all can sleep with themselves at night with what they have said and what has actually transpired, because it's sad that in this day and age, like, we do have to discuss the fact that Black women are the most unprotected creatures on the planet.
Unfortunate. But yeah, we'll see. They're still deliberating. I don't know when the verdict's going to come in. I'm hoping like tomorrow, but I think they said that tomorrow might be a day off for the jury.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm not really sure when it's going to happen, but hopefully sooner rather than later. And I'm really, hoping justice is served.
Oh, I've been thinking they were going to do like an early morning, but like, you get out early.
I mean,
Christmas.
yeah, I would have thought they would just come up with it today. I don't think the evidence is that like.
I mean, but you have to realize it was days and days of trial, so they're going over a lot of different facts.
Okay, winners and losers. Teresa, I will let you go first. I'm just gonna, full disclosure, I have none planned. I'm totally winging this. So go ahead.
Okay, then I'll wing it. Okay, so For my winner,
Your mama could be a winner.
she could be. Sis had a great birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday to Teresa's mom.
Happy birthday, mommy.
Celebrated 70 years.
Yes, 70 years.
Yeah.
And she did a trip to Paris, came back and had a surprise party with all her friends and loved ones, and she is so happy and so grateful
Loved.
and very loved. I will say the loser. I had that one ready. I'm gonna go with the one that I already had. The loser is, I mean, this one's kind of a loser winner, so I'm gonna kind of sneak both of them in there. But this G Herbo and Carisha episode on Revolt TV, where both of them ended up throwing smoke at each other.
Tiny walked in on you cheating with someone.
Huh?
Huh?
Did you know about that baby before October?
I love Carisha. I do. I love her personality. I love her ambition. I love her spirit, her energy. But like, it's just certain things that she does that like, and I'm not dating a billionaire, so I really can't like truly
And
judge.
just to give them some background, she's basically had a rough few weeks. So Diddy, out of nowhere, announced that he's having his 6th child. And it's with a woman reportedly named Dana Tran, and the baby actually was born in October, what we only found out in December. And the child's name is Love Sean Combs, because that's totally normal. But yeah, so yes. And
this is an episode to watch because
it's out today, isn't it?
Yes, and it's a really funny episode because I never really experienced G Herbo like this, but this episode actually does make me like him, and so I do feel like Carisha is a great interviewer. So that this is the win. She is right in her lane with doing her new Carisha Please cards and all the merch that she's constantly putting out.
That is smart.
Very smart. So that way you can feel like you're also on the show and drinking a Carisha
that's gonna be really
Please,
successful.
and very successful. Her
Okay.
merch
I'm gonna have
and
to
her
give
team are
Somebody on her
like-
team is thinking. Okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. So she's very in her lane, but she does ask him if he cheated on his baby mother, Ari,
Tania.
with Tanya. Yeah. Tanya.
I don't even know.
Tania.
We don't know.
Well,
fabulous.
his stepdaughter.
Gotcha.
Well,
Emily B's actual
Emily
daughter.
B's daughter. Yes.
But with somebody else.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, they got into that messy question, which like everybody kind of was like, oh, okay, put him in the hot seat, but he flipped it right on her, and so I really felt like I was like, ooh. Like both of you guys kind of went for the low blows, but it is a good episode. So there are.
And I thought she was such a good sport about it. Actually,
she was, and the way that she's been going back and forth with everybody on the internet.
As she said, I argue with a cat. I don't give a fuck. That was the funniest to me.
Yes.
I did hate the racist tweets though. She had a few of those. She kept a lot of like dump like sushi, like a lot of like Asian food reference to Gina Hyun, which is the other woman who's involved with Diddy right now. Apparently Diddy's is having an Asian phase because the actual mother's supposedly Asian, and you have this Gina woman. But yeah, Carisha and her are going back and forth, and she's just like making a lot of like objectively racist tweets about her.
I think they're prejudiced.
Okay.
I think they're prejudiced. I don't think that they're racist. I don't think that they are something that she is, directing towards an entire community or, treating an entire community a certain way. Okay. Also, that's just because, like, I just grew up in an area where, like, people Joan. And it's like, you piss me off. You can't tell me what's the floor because I'm going to take it to the basement. So, like, I just kind of look at it as, like, she's going to come for your neck because, like... Yeah.
I don't know.
That's Apalaka of her.
We could agree that she could probably do without it.
Yes,
but
especially at her platform and with the future that she has.
And I think, and that distinction you make, I don't think it's one most people would make. And I'm in those most people. I just feel like, it's like, come on.
I feel like don't fight with somebody from the hood. Go fight with somebody who's going to talk to you. Like, I'm going to fight fair. Like, that's not gonna happen.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I listen. I know that you're trying to add context to Carisha, and I love that you're being gentle with her, but no, that's
Carisha
a no.
Carisha has a large future ahead of her. She is actually very talented, and maybe rapping was not like her strongest talent, but she's starting to lean into the lanes where
personality is there.
Yeah, and where like she is going to be able to take off, and her star is going to shoot into a different stratosphere. Yeah. So I do feel like she does have to start showing up in a more mature way. Yeah. But like I also feel like people who are products of where they're from like can grow and evolve, but still also recognize that like no, this is still a part of me, and this is still who I've been. So like
okay,
that to me like that's okay, 'cause me too.
Okay, that's one way to put it. I listen, them tweets, I was like, what? Like, what? Like, and things that I think, and this is the thing about this era where people get called out, is that there's just so many different standards for different people. Mm-hmm. Like, what you're saying, I think, in a way, is probably what a lot of people think, because I didn't see the big uproar about her tweets and how racist they were, because I think people have low expectations for her. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is. But yeah, is that your only winner loser?
Yes, that is my winner loser. My winner/loser.
Right.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
Yeah,
she'll bounce back, but she's got some growing up to do, and she's in a little bit of a throuple.
Definitely. Well, I don't know what the because he's been seen with like 2 other new women in the last week, so something's going on, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. But yeah, anyways, winners and losers for me. My winner, I would say, first winner was SZA, whose album debuted at number 1, which is huge for her. I think it was the biggest R&B album. Like, it was a big one, and big debut for her. And if not that this was a holiday, her song would have been number 1 on the singles chart, because the only songs higher than it are All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah and
period. All of December, every December.
Right, and Brenda Lee's Rocking Around. And so it's like, wow, like, yo, you technically, like, if
you are it.
Really, and the chart rules used to be different, where like old songs could not chart. So they changed it, and that's why you have these Christmas songs dominating it, because before they would just like, they'd be invisible to the chart, because they had a rule that said, if the song's older than X amount of weeks, it can no longer chart.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And so they changed that rule. That's why you now see these old songs charting.
I forgot about that, because I did read about that a while ago.
It's like maybe like however, like a decade ago or 13 years ago, she would have been number 1 on the chart. So really huge for SZA, because that means she would have beat out Taylor Swift and like all the other heavy hitters who have like songs in the top 10 right now. So big. So first winner. Second winner will have to be Mariah Carey. So her song has done 2 weeks so far this Christmas season at number 1, and now has logged a total of 10 weeks at number 1. So she's the first female artist to have at least 3 songs be number 1 for at least 10 weeks. The first being One Sweet Day with Boyz II Men, the second being We Belong Together. One Sweet Day, 16 weeks, We Belong Together, 14 weeks, and now All I Want for Christmas, which I think eventually will be the longest running number 1 of all time. If she does this every year, think about it.
Now, Mariah is a biracial that you should hang around with, Meghan, because Mariah, from the beginning of her career, decided to align herself more with a lot more of the people. So she knew that she was protected as a Black American princess. So...
Facts. And actually, on Meghan's podcast, the second guest is Mariah Carey. And the whole thing was a whole like mixed girl like
moment.
Yeah, and that's all they talked about. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And you got to see like some of their views, and you go, And I can never know what it is to live as a mixed person, but I was like, wow, it's crazy.
It's crazy. I'm embarrassed.
No, the whole thing was like,
like it's like your half white cousin just like coming and talking about just like the hardships of being half white. You're just like,
it was the whole day. I was like, oh.
And you're like,
But
I
you know what?
like you,
Listen,
but
I know their experiences are unique, and I'm not trying to take that away from them. But the whole time I was like, huh. Interesting. And Mariah kept going on about like, oh, like, you know, how have you identified? Because oftentimes people want you to choose one, right? Because you know, early in her career, Mariah, even though she had all like the, you know, black associations, was used to say for the longest time, I'm a mixed race person, I'm a multiracial person, and her case for saying that is actually stronger than all these other people because she does not look black at all, right?
But the thing is that at the same time, like I think that her thinking was very progressive because like you see a lot of biracial people who are like, I'm not black enough or I'm not white enough, and it's like, yeah, duh, because you're both. Like you can literally identify as both. Like there's no problem. Like you don't have to actually jump to one side and start talking black and then jump to the other. Like you don't have to do that. Like you are both. Like at the same time.
You know how that can get complicated, especially in America.
I know, but that's why like
and how most of a lot of the people who say, "Oh, I'm,"
racism and the structure of race is like race is not really a thing. Like it's like
it is. It is. It's. I get what you're saying. It's a social construct, yada yada yada. But it's a social construct with very very real impact in everyone's life.
Yeah, of course, because
and
it's pervasive in just all of our cultures.
And, you know, people are treated differently because of it. Like
absolutely. But I mean that more so in the sense of if we stopped making people choose, then what would happen? The world would not explode. Like if she stopped and said, I'm both.
Yeah.
Like the world did not explode. Her, you know, choosing to date white men or date black men or, you know, have this person, that person around, like it didn't, like Mariah was somebody who kind of like did just always present as like, as both.
Right.
And that's great because she could have passed. She could have, you know.
And her explanation, she says,
you know what? Regardless, if I walked around saying only I'm black, I would still have to explain myself, night and day. Because people would look at me and go, "But you must be mixed. So what are you?" You know what I mean? So no matter what I say, I'm a multiracial person. That's it. No matter what, people have to look at me and know that I'm not just one thing. So it's kind of, you know, it's a really, really difficult situation that I was put in. I didn't put myself in a situation. I was born into it. So I can only just be myself, be a human being, and, you know, be the best person I can be.
And what I respect about that is that I think she could much more easily say I'm white and have people like, oh, you are, you know?
Yeah.
But she says, like, if I told you that I was black, you'd be like, oh, well, you're obviously mixed. What else are you? And I always thought that line was really funny.
Yeah.
but really, people would ask. And to me, what that says is that the idea of identifying as white was never an option to her. And so the other option was to say, oh, I'm black. And because of the way she looks, I don't think that's really feasible. As time has passed, I think she's gotten more comfortable with just kind of doing that. Because, you know, but generally, I think she, you know, I think she gets a pass. I think she gets a pass to be like, oh, I'm both, because she really does not look black at all, and I don't think truly because
I don't think she's required.
She's not
to be like, I'm a black woman.
She
like,
isn't.
We know. We know.
She isn't. And you know what? The way Meghan said, oh, I don't think I've been treated as a black woman, I feel like Mariah has more like space to say that because she really does look different. Like with Meghan, I'm like, yo, to me, Meghan looks to me. To me, but apparently you feel differently. But like to me, she looks like she just looks like a black. I know lots of like light skinned black people that look.
She don't even sound. If she called me on the phone,
but like Teresa,
Mariah
say
Carey,
that about you.
Mariah Carey sounds like a black woman.
I guess
when she talks,
it
sounds like you're
tone
talking
of her
to
voice.
A black woman.
Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about
her hair, like just like even just like the curliness of it, like the natural curliness of it, and then the fullness of it when she like straightens it. is the texture of a mixed
Mariah?
black woman. Like, yes, like the curliness of how she wore it when she was younger.
You're being really generous. But
Really?
okay. Yeah.
Have you seen Meghan Markle's hair when it's wet?
I don't know. Have you? I don't know that girl. Like,
I don't know that girl. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
but
But
I
it's
mean-
just that there are photos of Mariah as we've seen her grow up in the
Yeah.
spotlight, and Meghan Markle is somebody who, for me, magically appeared on Suits, and I'm watching her on Suits, and I'm like, that's a white lady.
it looks whiter than Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
This is the most. I'm deeply fascinated by this position, but
That's a white woman.
that is so interesting.
That's
That
a
is
white
interesting.
woman.
Well, you know, congrats to Mariah because she done got all this.
I mean, I get it. She's black. Her mom's black. Yes, she's
Yeah.
black. But like, she's biracial.
Wow, she's a biracial girl.
She's biracial.
Shout out to Sean Fleury or Sean Fury, whatever his name is.
You are iconic. Okay, if you see this, you're iconic. That song will never
Ever.
leave our heads.
Never, ever, ever. Loser. Who's my loser? I mean, I will say there are a couple. I mean, Tory's always a loser, so we're gonna skate over that one. So I think Diddy, honestly, all the shit he got going on, like,
This is bizarre. This is bizarre.
just
This is like twins just turned 16,
yeah, they got.
and then
Range
you
Rovers.
have a one or a brand new fresh infant, not even
Yeah.
1 year old, 1
no,
month
his
old.
oldest kid is like almost 30 at this point.
Yeah, it's like this is just.
You know what? Scratch that. I mean, Diddy, yes, but the real loser is Nick Cannon, who says he regrets not being able to spend all this time. You don't say you don't have enough time? I would have never imagined that was a possibility. Never.
That is so sad. That's so sad.
Yeah.
I really feel bad for Nick Cannon. I don't. Because y'all were here when I've been said what he's doing is wicked. It is self-centered. It's some sort of weird scientific-y. I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, it's... You know what? When they say Holly weird, these are the types of situations that I think about. These are the types of things that I'm like, how does it get this weird? And people just go along with your weirdness. Also, he just released a Christmas movie that's on VH1. My friend Santuan McCrae is in there, so make sure you guys watch that. It's on today.
Oh, it's on today?
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you're looking for a Christmas special, tune into VH1.
oh, look at you with the plug. I will definitely be watching that. I've actually I've been mildly entertained by all the VH1 Christmas movies.
Really? You know what? Because I actually was kind of feeling like they're going to come off a bit BET-ish.
Crazy said that my next comment was going to be like, VH1 is the new BET. Like there is no, like that's where all the new original black content is all on VH1. It's not really in BET.
Miracles Across 125th Street.
Love it. Love it.
So, yep, tune in to the new BET for your Christmas specials. And if you are looking for more fun commentary from me or updates on any of my other partnerships and things I got going on, you can follow me at REESIE_RICH on Instagram and on Twitter.
And of course, Off the Yard Travels.
Off the Yard Travels, yes.
Is the business.
It's the travel group,
Yeah.
yes. So if you are looking for a nice trip to take with your friends for Cinco de Mayo, and you guys are looking for a place to link up, we have a travel group popping off the Yard Travels on Instagram.
Love, 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 love. Episode 69, No Hipsters Pod. Talk to you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.